So let's dive into a skill that's kind of quietly becoming one of the most important in the age of AI. It's really just the art of conversation, figuring out how to get a machine to give you exactly what you're looking for right when you need it. Sound familiar? I bet it does. You know the feeling, right? You ask for something specific, something creative, and what you get back is this wall of text that's just boring or totally off topic, or, let's be honest, completely useless. It's a super common frustration, but it points to a really simple truth. I mean, check this out. This is a perfect example. The prompt is just write an article. And the AI's response, it's basically a dictionary definition of what an article is. This gets right to the heart of the matter. It shows you crystal clear that the quality of what you get out is a direct reflection of what you put in. So you see, the problem here isn't that the AI is dumb or broken. It's that we haven't given it good instructions. These tools are incredibly powerful, but they are not mind readers, not even close. They take what you give them, and they take it literally. Now, this is where prompt engineering comes into play. And I know that sounds super technical and intimidating, right? But don't let the name fool you. It's not about coding or being some kind of tech genius. It's simply the art of communicating better with AI. It's about crafting your instructions so you get exactly the response you're actually looking for. Okay, so how do we actually get good at this? Well, it all starts with the fundamentals. We have to understand the building blocks. So let's break down the anatomy of what makes a really powerful prompt. It turns out a really great prompt usually has four key ingredients. Think of it like a recipe for getting a great response. First, the instruction. What do you actually want it to do? Second, the context. What background info does it need to know? Third, the input data. Is there any specific content it should use? And finally, the output indicator. How do you want the answer to look? You get these four parts right, and you're well on your way. All right, so now we know what a good prompt looks like. But, sometimes the best way to learn is to see what not to do. So we're going to run through what I like to call the gauntlet. 5 super common traps that almost everyone falls into at first, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. Okay, mistake number 1. This is by far the biggest one people make, being way, way too vague. Just like that write an article example. The fix is actually really simple, but it's so powerful. Be specific, like super specific. Tell it the format, the word count, who you're talking to, and the tone you want. The more details you give it, the better the result will be. All right, mistake number 2. This one's a game changer. Forgetting to give the AI a job, a persona. Just look at the difference here. The generic prompt gets you, well, generic tips. But the second you tell it to act as a senior UX designer, you're giving it a role. This instantly focuses its massive knowledge base, and you start getting expert-level insights. It's a huge upgrade. Coming in at number 3, trying to cram way too much into a single prompt. It's really tempting, right? To just ask it to do everything at once. Write this thing, then summarize it for me, and then translate that summary. But when you overload the AI like that, you usually get a confused, pretty low-quality response for all 3 tasks. So what's the fix? Well, there's this really cool technique called prompt chaining. Instead of one giant request, you break it into a series of smaller, focused prompts. First, just ask for the description. Then, once you have that, you start a new prompt and ask it to summarize what it just gave you. And finally, you ask for the translation. You get way more control, and the quality is so much better at every step. This next one, mistake number 4, is more of a mindset thing, but it's absolutely crucial. And that's expecting to get it perfect on the first try. That's just not how this works. It's a recipe for disappointment. Prompting is a conversation. It's not a magic button you press once. The first answer you get is just the first draft. And this is exactly what that looks like in action. It's a conversation. You start with your first prompt, then you look at the results and give it feedback. Okay, can you make that a bit less formal? Or, that's good. Now, can you add a relevant statistic? Every little follow-up guides the AI closer and closer to exactly what you need. It's all about that refinement. And finally, we have to talk about mistake number 5. And please, please listen to this one. Never, ever forget the AI's limitations. Think of it as an incredibly smart but sometimes forgetful collaborator. It is not a source of absolute truth. It can and it will make stuff up. It will generate facts and stats that sound totally plausible but are completely wrong. So please, always, always fact-check anything important. Okay, we've covered the basics, we've dodged the common mistakes. You ready to level up? Because now we're going to get into a technique that is seriously powerful. This is where we move from just telling the AI what to do to actually guiding it on how to think.
And believe it or not, it all boils down to just 5 little words. Adding, "Let's think step by step" to the beginning of your prompt is like a magic key. It triggers something called chain of thought prompting, which forces the AI to slow down and show its work, breaking down the problem before it spits out a final answer. And the difference this makes, it's night and day. Just look at this. On the left, the standard prompt just jumps to an answer, and it gets it wrong. But on the right, just by adding "let's think step by step," the AI is forced to show its reasoning. It identifies the odd numbers, adds them up, and then it comes to the correct conclusion. It's incredible. Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground, right? From the anatomy of a prompt to the rookie mistakes and even some advanced tricks. So now let's put it all together. I'm going to give you the master key, a simple, repeatable formula you can use every single time to get a great result.
I'm going to give you a super practical 4-part formula that builds on everything we just talked about. Here it is. Step 1, state your goal. That's your core instruction. Step 2, define the return format. How should it give you the answer? Step 3, add warnings. Tell it specifically what not to do. And finally, step 4, the context dump. This is where you give it all the background info it needs.
Seriously, just burn this into your brain. Goal, format, warnings, and context. It's a simple recipe that just works. Follow this flow, and you will consistently get better, more useful answers from any AI you use. Let's see this in the wild. Here's a real-world example. The goal, give me 5 YouTube title ideas. The return format, put them in a list of 5 bullet points. The warnings, no clickbait and no technical jargon. And the context, the target audience is B2B SaaS founders. See how every single part adds another layer of focus and precision? This is how you go from vague to valuable. You know, when you boil it all down, what are we really talking about here? Prompt engineering isn't really a technical skill or some secret hack. It's about communication. It's about learning to be more thoughtful and clear. It's about shifting your mindset from just giving orders to actually having a productive conversation with a really, really powerful assistant. And that leaves us with a really big question. One I want you to think about. As these AI tools get woven into everything we do, is learning how to craft the perfect prompt becoming the new essential language? Is it becoming for our generation what programming was for the last? Something to chew on.